Hello there and welcome to Talk Time. It is Monday and it is the 18th day of March 2019. This is a show that comes your way every Monday from 9 to 9:50 p.m. here on UBC TV. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma, your host, and tonight we're looking at constipation. Some of you people, you get into problems when it comes to emptying your bowels, but probably you don't even understand what it is. You ask yourself, why is this happening? Have I had enough water? Haven't I? Have I eaten well or not? So tonight we're just going to look at this very, very important topic because we've come to realize that our eating or feeding habits are one of the reasons why people get constipated. And in the studio tonight, I'm joined by none other than Dr. Tamale Ismal. Dr. Tamale Ismal is from the Timix Nutrition Center, and it's on Nasa Road, Conrad Plaza. Doctor, good evening and welcome once again.
Good evening. How are you? And good evening, viewers. Thank you very much for tuning on UBC at this time.
It's been a month, doctor, and time flies so much.
Yes.
And the last time we were looking at genotype and what people should know about their blood group in as far as what they eat is concerned. Probably before we even get into today's topic, and of course that is constipation. Probably first tell us, just give us a recap of what we did then, and the person who never watched then can actually pick.
Of course, what we were working on last time was to show you exactly what we do at Timix Nutrition Center, and then show you if you don't do this, what happens. In fact, for the viewers who have just tuned on, we shall show you exactly what we do when you come to Timix Nutrition Center. That video which is going to run shows you when you come to Timix Nutrition Center. The first thing we do, we get your blood group. We determine your blood group. After determining your blood group, we do a lot of measurements on your body system. Now, these measurements, as you see them in the video, they are the phenotypes. Phenotypes, for some of you who have some information, some knowledge of biology, well, phenotypes are the observable genetic characteristics on a human being. Like you look at the head, you look at the lower leg, the upper leg. Where are all these coming from? So that is what then after that, we lump it together, and then the system will tell you your genetic information. After getting your genetic information, then the system will be able to advise you on what foods to eat and not to eat.
Yeah, exactly. And
so of course, that's why here for every body system, there is a category. They'll tell you in the meat category, you can take lamb, you can take beef. So then you can take oranges, you can take lime. Then we go to fruits, you can take apples, then you're not supposed to take maybe dates. Then you go to another category, or spices, you can take black pepper, you're not supposed to take turmeric. So all these foods as they come out are the one which work as medicine in your body system. Then after that, we also show you what exercise you are supposed to be doing, which are compatible to your blood group and genotype, and the lifestyle strategy. What sort of life strategy should you lead as a particular body system to be able to live a healthy life? And then, of course, remember, we look at what happens if you follow that, what happens? And if you don't follow, what happens?
That is very interesting, and of course, what actually the doctor is trying to tell us is probably you are two people, and you're trying to do something with probably dieting. But you see, you're having the same foods, but it is working for your friend and it's not working for you. Then you start wondering why isn't it happening for me? So it all goes back to the blood type, and you must know what blood type it is, so that whatever food you eat can actually work for you. Doctor, thank you so much for that recap. But now let's look at today's topic, and that is constipation. My own definition of constipation, of course, it's generally described as having fewer than 3 bowel movements a week. But doctor, before we started the show, you told me there's a different definition of constipation.
That definition is now outdated. It used to hold. Now, when we talk of constipation, we refer to what we call intestinal transit time, ITT. The intestinal transit time is the time you eat the food, okay, and then passing it out. If you eat food at 8 p.m., for example, most of the ITT, for example, in Uganda and most of African areas here, should be about 24 hours. Like the food you ate at 8 p.m. in the night.
And that is what the diagram on the
should
on
be.
the screen,
now that diagram shows you how food moves into the body. Because you cannot talk about constipation before showing people how the whole thing moves.
There you're eating.
So that is the time the food takes, the journey of that food from the mouth as you are going to see it. In fact, that's a very good demonstration you are going to see. You eat the food, okay? Of course, you know how you swallow and then how
the
this,
food is going.
The one going to the lungs is closed, and then the food will go through the digestive, the esophagus, no? Then it goes down. Of course, there's another valve there which has to open, and when that valve opens, the food goes in and then it closes. Then, of course, that is the acid that will come now in the stomach to do digestion, and after that, the food moves slowly. It goes into the small intestine. Here, most of the food nutrients are absorbed, the vitamins, the minerals. Absorption of food nutrients take place in the small intestine. Okay? Then after that, when it has been, you'll see, after the absorption of foods, because that is the process in which food is being absorbed into the body system, so from the small intestine. Now, when the food goes into the blood system, then the remainder of the food, which has not been put to any use, will go through now the food is going into the body system. Okay? Now, what will happen to the remainder? What has not been utilized, what we call the waste, will make its journey out of the small intestine and goes into the large intestine. Okay? When it goes into the large intestine, which we call the colon, okay, it goes out very nicely. When it goes in, of course, you'll find that when it reaches down in the colon, the film is not yet over.
Yes.
It is passed
video is
out.
still playing actually.
Of course, the brain will be notified and the food will pass out. And that is for a normal human being who has been to Timex Nutrition Center and eating the right foods and doing everything right. And that process should take 24 hours. So by the way, in the first 4 hours, the body system has finished using the food. The first 5 hours. The rest of the over 20 hours, the body system is really going to get way through. Actually, by the time it is in the large intestine, water is being sucked out. Now, constipation means here that the journey is now becoming more than 24 hours. We are getting constipated. Because instead of spending 24 hours, some people goes 25, 26, 27, 30, 40. Then eventually, it comes to 40. It comes to that somebody spends a whole day without going to the toilet. Now, you may go to the toilet 2 times a day or 3 times a day.
That doesn't mean that you're okay.
But on Friday. But you are passing out food of Monday. You are constipated. You may console yourself that you are not constipated, but you are constipated. You are passing out food of Monday, and today is Friday.
Does it become poisonous? I mean,
of course, that's what we are going to see. What actually happens when the food takes long into the body system. So that's what we call constipation. Well, as long as the intestinal transit time is more than 24 hours, that shows that you are constipated. Of course, what are some of the...
Yes, let's look at the major causes. You've talked about food, but it's not just...
Maybe before I even look at the food, let's look at how would you tell you are constipated.
I think by not going to not visiting the toilet.
No, more than that. As long as, if you are eating and eating and eating and passing out very little stool, you are constipated. If you are passing out hard stool, you are constipated. If you start passing out smelly stool,
stuff,
that means the food is taking more time in the stomach than it should have been. That's why it is rotting in. Actually, what we are going to see is interesting. Smell gas. When you see somebody having gas getting out of him, smell. He is getting constipated. The food is spending, the ITT is higher.
More
Yeah, the ITT is longer.
in the system than it should.
Exactly. So this is what actually happens during constipation. And so when you eat the food, as we saw the other time, okay, the food will go through the small intestine, and after everything has been done, as we've seen, food have been pulled out, then the remainder is supposed to go through to go to the large intestine. That is, the large intestine has 3 major parts. It is what we call the ascending colon, that one you are seeing. Okay, then you see it properly when the stuff starts moving. So it goes through the ascending colon. That's part of the ascending colon. Okay, then it will go through the transverse. Transverse is that one which that transverse. Then ascending, then it goes out. Now during the time it is in the colon, water is being sucked out. Okay.
Okay.
Water is being doing what? Sucked out.
Sucked out.
And of course, when it goes out, when it reaches there, a message will be definitely sent to the brain that these things are here. They have to get out.
They have to be getting.
And the brain will give instructions to release that renal muscle. Okay. And then
that's when you get the urge.
When you get the urge, and then you'll go out. But every day is not Sunday. That's not what happens. When people start getting constipated, these things start coming and piling in there, as we are going to see. Now they are no longer going out because we have been, as we are going to see, what is causing what we are going to see now. The food start coming up, coming in, they start piling up. They are no longer going out. They start piling. They start piling. Okay.
But doctor, would I be right if I said that probably some people don't even know that they are constipated?
Of course, but that's why I'm giving you how do you know you are constipated. That's why we gave them the day we are constipated. These food starts piling up there. They pile up, 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 and eventually the whole thing, the whole,
like a balloon.
Of course the intestine, the large intestine is like a balloon. So those things will pile in and start expanding, and things will start being in there. And of course, you will see that as those things start being in there, they pile themselves in there, they continue piling. They continue piling. And of course, that's why you see,
as that happens,
and as they are there, increasing. And as they are there, water is being sucked out because they are not there like coffee in a sack, but water is being sucked out. When those things are there, you see, now the whole thing becomes a nuisance. Now they start rotting, bacteria are working on them, their toxins are being released into the blood system from there. Then when you drink a lot of water, some of those things pass through the big constipated things.
And it's little, it's not even
of course it's not.
What it should
it is not.
be.
Then you have consoled yourself that maybe you have done what? You have gone to the toilet. That's why I'm telling you that because here constipation is very, 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 very interesting. We'll talk about that now. Of course, after seeing that, we will find out exactly now what causes this problem you are seeing. Quite a number of problems are responsible for quite a number of factors.
Responsible for constipation.
But 80% of the major causes of constipation is eating foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype. When you eat foods,
goes back to what we talked about.
Exactly. We shall see that film. I don't know why they didn't play it, but it will come soon. When you eat foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype, that means the food is going to spend more time in the stomach, in the body system than stipulated, because the food is not compatible to the body system. There are particular foods for particular people who even have a problem whereby what we call they inhibit the production of the digestive enzymes. The moment they go into the particular body systems, they move away. The digestive enzymes are not going to come.
But doctor,
then there are foods which, if eaten, they definitely, you eat them, but you don't have enough acids to work. We shall see that. I don't know whether we shall get that in the beginning video, the introduction by video. We shall look at the type of stomach, how everybody's stomach looks like, and that shows you exactly where major problems come in. Okay, so so that is number one. That is the major contributor to constipation. Other things which got about 20% is things like some medications, but not everybody is taking medications. There are certain medications which cause constipation.
Can it be chronic? Constipation?
Yes, I'm going to, as we are going to see, it can become chronic. Of course, not taking enough foods can cause some constipation, but that's still in the 20%. Stress can cause constipation. Things like toilet habits. Somebody wants to go to the toilet and then he doesn't go. He tries to, he thinks the way the toilet is not clean. Of course, the more those things stay in there, water will be sucked out and they become harder. So that causes constipation. Lack of food layering can cause constipation. Then there are particular ailments. But one of the major causes, another factor towards constipation, is the anti-constipation methods that are being used. Because as you saw the stomach, in the stomach there are some bacteria called intestinal flora. The intestinal flora, their work is to act on the food. Okay? Yes. The intestinal flora are supposed to act on the foods you eat to help in digestion. It's called intestinal flora. Now, when you try to, once you get constipated and you start taking tablets called laxatives, which are supposed to open the stomach and start getting that area, others take aloe vera, others are doing colon cleansing, others are doing enema, especially at the other stage you see.
They also have these herbal medicine.
Any sort of system you try to do anti-constipation, it will wash out. Even the intestinal flora will be washed out. Okay?
You end up going to hospital.
Now, when the flora are washed out, the next meal you eat finds no flora, so you get constipated. So you start taking you take your anti-constipation therapy. Then time reaches when your anti-constipation therapy becomes part of your diet. And that is the beginning.
You get hooked to it.
Yeah, that is the beginning of the destruction of the digestive system. You have moved the system from the auto system God put it on to manual. Now you have to take aloe vera to get out. You have to take tablets. That is the beginning of the chronic constipation. Now you are going to become chronically constipated. Now, so those are some of the challenges that you have. But when you look at constipation per se, you have to ask, we have seen constipation. What are the effects of getting
constipation? Before we do that, if you're just joining us, this is Talk Time here on UBC TV. And today we're looking at a very, very interesting topic, and that is constipation. And probably some of you, you just feel it is not easy for you to go, and empty the bowels, but you don't even know what it is. That is constipation. And in the studio, I'm with Dr. Tamale Ismal from Tebex Nutrition Center, and it's on Nasser Road, Conrad Plaza. And we've just looked at, the major causes of constipation and the symptoms also. And Doctor, we eat a lot of things. Nutritionist, you're a nutritionist, I think. Because you do this. You actually, do that at Temex Nutrition Center. The foods we eat today, I would imagine that the lifestyle that we lead probably could also, to a greater extent, be blamed on people experiencing this. Because you're not at home. Gone are the days when you have a garden, maybe behind your house, and then you have greens planted there, dodo, these things that should actually be on every meal to help in the digestion and stuff. You find you're just having starches only. There is nothing like some kind of meal, some kind of food that you should eat to help in the digestion. That's why you find most people are getting constipated. What are the foods that we should actually be eating?
No, you see, that one contributes only to 5% on constipation. As long as you are eating foods which are compatible to your blood group and genotype, whether they are carbohydrates, whether you will not have constipation. That was the thinking of the past. In fact, for example, there are people whom eating dodo makes them constipated because they are not dodo compliant. There are people who take bananas and they get more constipated. Why? If you are not banana compliant and you take bananas, you'll get more constipated. That's why you see people say, I've been taking bananas, I've been drinking that, I'm getting more constipated. He's eating food.
Actually, when you go to the hospital, that is what the doctor will first tell you.
You see, that's
you
what I'm
eat
telling
bananas, you eat fruits.
Bananas will help the particular body system. That's why I say when you look at the initial video, we showed you each body system. In fact, as we finish the program, we shall be showing you which foods each body system should eat to avoid constipation and to fight constipation. Each body system has particular foods. There are foods which help in constipation in body system A, but they constipate body system B. That is where we are. We are now on scientific nutrition. That's why we call it scientific, personalized, individual nutrition.
You scientists, today you're actually confusing us. I'll go to one doctor and they will tell me, eat bananas and this one will go away.
You have to know that research is ongoing. Some people are seated on the old research. Forget. What we are doing is nutrition version 2010. Wow. The nutrition you are talking about is version year 1818. Why 1818? Because in 1818, blood transfusion was discovered, but the blood groups were not known. They were just giving blood anyhow. Others would die, others would survive.
And people used to wonder why
God didn't want. They would say God didn't want. Take it to mortuary, bring another one. Until 1901, when blood groups were discovered. So even now, initially, the initial system of nutrition was looking at take a balanced diet, take some carbohydrates, take some posho, take some bread. Yeah. It could work to some, but not to others. That's why when I was beginning this program, the other program, we said these were the research questions that were being asked. Why some people recover, die, others recover. Why some people are having the ailments, and that is now where the blood groups and the genotype came in to solve this problem. So when we're talking about nutrition right now in 2019, okay, we're talking of scientific nutrition. We are not on the other side. The other side now does not solve many problems.
Ugandans have to be sensitized because...
we have been doing this since 2010, and I think we have worked on so many people. We receive about 500 to 600 clients who come to our Timex Nutrition Center. Those of you who have just...
Those are the ones who can actually manage to come there. But how about this person in the...
We are on the radio, they are hearing, we give them information, and we tell them what to do. Others, of course, prefer to remain in lock like you.
Okay, that's a good one. Now, honestly, we are talking about an adult. I understand because I've gone to school, I am educated. I know when I don't visit the toilet in maybe 24 hours, then there is a big problem there. But how about children who don't even talk? What happens? I mean, because they also get constipated.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see, there is a program also for the children. We have a program for the children.
Tell the mother who is watching right now, or father, that
of course.
How do they tell even that this person?
Of course,
is constipated?
Up to about 2 years, a child should be breastfeeding, and then introduce certain foods which are compatible to the body system of the kid, and you never get constipation problems with the kid.
What if it doesn't happen and the kid is caused? What happens? What should be done to this child?
Trouble. Because that's why they are adding into all these other methodologies I've said, which at times are not very healthy. You cannot solve constipation by going into diuretic. That's a casualty. So, because as you see, now when you look at constipation per se, constipation is a killer itself.
You can actually die of constipation.
No, you cannot. You will die. Constipation is a killer.
You'll not pass.
In fact,
what you're supposed to pass.
Constipation has 40 diseases in a row.
40?
40.
10, 20, 30, 40?
Yes. Constipation causes and triggers 40 diseases in a row. And many people come to a place when they are complaining of a particular ailment, then when you ask them to say, oh, I spent 2 days, 3 days. But when you solve the other problem of constipation, then he's okay. First of all, as you saw those things being in there, the following things happen. 1, those things are rotting. 2, water is being sucked out of them. 3, they are becoming toxic.
Yes.
So there's a lot of bacterial infection, bacteria working on them there. They are getting toxic. They are producing a lot of toxins which are proliferating into the blood system, back into the blood system. Okay? Then over a period of time, you saw the other big intestine. The intestine will follow in. the transverse colon, which we saw the other time. Time comes when it falls in. Then so what happens? So the diseases come in 3 stages for constipation. The initial diseases which come with constipation is one is bad breath. Bad breath.
Hold it there a little bit, doctor. So when someone has bad breath, I thought that was just something to do with not taking good care of oral hygiene. It is also related to constipation.
It may be oral hygiene, but if somebody is brushing 10 times a day and is getting with bad breath,
then there's a problem.
2, it causes things like coated tongue, depression. People who get constipated, they get stressed, real stress, because the things are not going out. They are trying, is trying this. You can find the children there who are sitting and just kicks them off. I mean, just stressed up. Then it causes depression.
And depression is bad.
Yeah, of course.
You end up killing yourself.
It causes fatigue. Such people, they're always lying down. When he's seated in somewhere, you find him dozing. Why is he dozing? When the food gets stuck in the stomach, it's not going to be there like it is being packed in a sack of coffee, packed in a bag. Coffee. No. The body system tries to sort it out. And in the process, the body will borrow all the blood, even from the brain, and try to take it to the digestive system. Try to sort out this problem. So you're leaving very little blood in the head, little oxygen, then somebody starts dozing. They're always very weak. They are dozing, fatigue, they have gas in the stomach, headaches. They start getting headaches. Such people always, when you look into their coats or in their bags, they have Panadol, all sorts of painkillers around them. Then others are trying to take some water, think they will alleviate the problem. But the problem is coming from the food.
I shouldn't see Maggie dozing all the time.
Then things like migraines, then things like bad taste in the mouth. Then because the things are getting stuck in the stomach, virtually, the brain is likely to get a message, don't bring in much more, telling the digestive system. So the appetite starts going out. We find that somebody doesn't want to eat, then the others become nervous, then lack of sleep, then things like indigestion, things are going in the stomach. We find somebody saying, oh, something. People come to our place with a lot of interesting. Somebody says, the thing is, I have something in the stomach. It comes and at times it pierces me here, then it goes and pierces me here. Then they have told me I may need surgery.
I see you getting so surprised
of course.
When they report to you such things.
Of course.
And you tell them that they are constipated.
Yeah, but once when it says you just work on the stomach, give him the right foods. We have some supplements we give for the stomach, but not to give you diarrhea, to reconstruct the whole stomach back to solid. Then after 1 week, he comes back and says, I'm now fine. I'm even constipation has completely gone. So lack of sex libido. You cannot have sex when you're having things packed in your stomach like that, as you saw them in the video.
It's even uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable. You are dozing.
You showed something there. Exactly. The stomach is swollen like it's a balloon.
Exactly. That is what is happening.
Now,
that one is what we call the welcome to the constipation world disease. From there, you start moving into more problems. What are the problems you start getting in?
Yes, we'll be talking about those problems, Doctor. But viewer, if you're just joining us, this is Talk Time on UBC TV, and we are looking at constipation. A lot of things that we are learning this evening that probably, if you've been watching, you even never knew about constipation. We've got people, you sit next to someone and they try to say hello, and you're like, oh my God, what has this person, has she or he been brushing or not? Just like you feel like taking off. And doctor also at times, people release, gases, and you just feel like taking off. And it's
once
because of constipation.
Exactly.
So we are going to take a very short break. We'll be returning after that, but this topic continues. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break, and you are still watching Talk Time here on UBC TV. My name is Edward Rukidi Kijananguma, and we are looking at constipation this evening. It is something that happens to almost everybody, goes through that. But do you even know that it is constipation that you're going through at a given time? So to explain that and even shed more light on what constipation is all about, what you should do to avoid it, the foods that you should eat, I am with Dr. Ismal from T-Mex Nutrition Center. It is it's on Nasser Road on Conrad Plaza, and the numbers, if you just needed to know, you needed to contact the clinic or Dr. Tamale, the numbers are on your screen, but I can also read them for you. 0778 28836, and that is the MTN line, but also the Airtel line is 0758 819952. Those are the numbers you will be able to call, not here. Those are not our studio numbers, but those are the clinic numbers that you can call and get to talk to the doctor or any other specialist at Timex Nutrition Center. Doctor, yes. Before the break, we were looking at the effects of
we looked at
constipation. We looked at primary, but now I understand there's primary, then
secondary and tertiary. Yes.
Let's look at the secondary effects.
Okay, viewers who have not been with us, we looked at constipation and said it is the intestinal transit time. You may go to the toilet 3 times, but we are passing out food of Monday, yet it's Friday. So we said it's the rate of it's the time the food is supposed to be in the stomach, and we said that's supposed to be only about 24 hours. Beyond that, 25, 26 hours, we are getting constipated. And we are looking at what are some of the effects of constipation. For viewers who have just tuned in, this Timex Nutrition Center, we are found on Nasser Road. The building is called the Conrad Plaza on the 2nd floor. The numbers have been read to you. I will read them again to you. 0758 819952 and 0778288361. So you can always get us on those numbers, and we can always get up. They'll now be on the screen. You'll be getting them out. So we look at when you get constipated, we have seen what actually happens. And we said, what do you get initially? We looked at things like bad breath, body odor, coated tongue, depression, fatigue, gas in the stomach, headache, migraines, bad taste in the mouth, poor appetite, irritability, lack of sleep, lack of sexy libido, indigestion, common cold, and so many other things. But we said that is the welcome to the constipation world disease. From there, things will advance.
They'll get worse.
You go to the secondary stage. From constipation will cause what we call hemorrhoids. Many people, hemorrhoids means, in a simple term, you go to the toilet, then after going out, you pass a toilet paper and you are seeing blood. But you are not feeling any pain. Blood starts getting out. That's hemorrhoids. That's him. Then you go to the doctor to complain for hemorrhoids. They will give you medicine for hemorrhoids. You are not telling the doctor you're getting constipated. So they give you the hemorrhoids. They will chew out today. Tomorrow they will come back.
And that is if you are lucky, you know that those are hemorrhoids.
If you know they are hemorrhoids. Then things like colitis. Then at times, because of the pressure people put in getting to the toilet, it's the intestine at times moves out. And you find people, they always fighting to put it back. We have got all these cases, So things like a varicose veins, somebody starts getting these big black veins on the body system. Constipation, that's constipation. They can be caused by constipation in its secondary stages.
And of course, people think that that kind of thing is, they say that they have, have enough blood and their blood is thick.
Things like Candida will open up for women. Candida becomes a nuisance. It goes, it comes, as long as you are getting constipated. First of all, as you get even constipated, you have to understand your immune system will go down. Why? Because the blood is now filthy, it is having so many toxins, the immune system is no longer operating properly, so things like a flu, things like a cough, candida, meningitis will start coming in. Then general wasting of the entire body, disorders. Even if you go to the best skin maker, they will make your skinny today, or 2 weeks later, it will be as if they have pushed rough cast on the face. Simply because you are not tackling what is causing the skin disorders. Constipation can lead to skin disorders. Painful menstrual cramps. You find ladies fighting with Then they come, say, oh, I'm having, they have been giving me this hormone imbalance. Do you get constipation? Yeah, me at least, at times even I take 5 days. Some people even feel proud about this thing.
Not visiting that important.
Yeah, me, I said, at least even 5 days I can spend without constipation. There's no way we're going to run from menstrual cramps. Pain during menstruation starts coming in. So that is all under the whole name of something called constipation. Now, of course, people go on to treat these conditions, but they don't treat the root cause of the pressure, the problem. Constipation will trigger diabetes mellitus. So there is no way in this world that somebody, it even triggers high blood pressure. So if you are treating diabetes mellitus and you are treating high blood pressure and you are getting constipated, just be assured those pressure and diabetes will never go. Because constipation is part of the trigger.
Primary problem you haven't tackled it.
You have not tackled it. And where is the constipation coming from? Eating wrong foods which are not compatible to your blood group and genotype. That's why I always tell people, if you have any disease you are trying to cure, even if you get the doctors from the star over the moon, those diseases will not go until you come to Timex Infusion Center to find out the root cause of the diseases and treat them, and they go. So that is what comes in. The pressure, diabetes, you find somebody, diabetes levels are going higher. But instead he's spending 4 days without going to the toilet. What do you expect? You are eating every day.
It's not a plastic stomach.
It's not a plastic stomach. You have to get out. Yeah, the digestive system is a system, and the most important system on the body system, because it is the one which receives the foods, works on them. After working on them, it starts distributing. Eyes, you get your shares. The joints, you get your... Now, the whole thing is clogged down. That means all those other departments of the body system are going to get clogged down. Because the factory is down. It's producing rubbish. Everything is getting stuck. Ladies and gentlemen, you must respect your stomachs and take them as the most important thing on your body system.
We are still on the secondary...
then, of course, yeah.
Secondary effects.
Yes. Then another thing from secondary effects, it moves into the tertiary. Now this is where
that is bad news.
Now that is bad news. What happens? You start getting things like there's a disease they call prolapse. Prolapse, if you looked at if you remember the first diagram, we showed you the transverse colon.
Yes.
When those things go and packing themselves in the transverse colon, it sinks in. So either when you go to hospital, they tell you you have a redundant colon, or redundant colon, or an elongated colon. Then you ask the doctor what to do. Surgery. They have to cut this colon and then remove the other part and put it back.
Actually, I've had such people.
Yes.
I've had such cases.
That is it. That's
that
what
the colon was cut.
Yeah. What is causing that? Why are they? What is causing that? Constipation.
Could there be any other cause of?
For prolapse, no. 90%. There could be other, but very minor. But 90% is constipation. What is causing constipation? Eating food is not compatible to your blood group and genotype. Now, and you see, when that's why you see a complication. When they join it, and you continue eating the wrong foods, you get constipated again. The problem comes back. That's why they end up going to the second surgery.
And it keeps reducing. I mean, if you go for two surgeries.
If it doesn't become cancerous. Because they are cutting it every now. What body system do you have which is being cut and joined? Cut and joined. You are cutting an intestine and joining it. What body system do you have? So that is one of the diseases. We talked of prolapse, then colitis. You see that at times even you see where those things were piling themselves at the I don't know whether they can bring back that video and see where those things were piling themselves there. Eventually that part of the intestine becomes big, and when it becomes big, it becomes a storage. Actually, people who get constipated, they are comparable to be moving septic tanks. Because those things are supposed to be in the septic tank, but they are still in your stomach. How do you think you have health? You are moving septic tank.
No.
Now you see, as you see, the thing starts going, when it starts becoming big down there, as you see later, right? Now the thing enlarges. When it enlarges, now things start becoming, storing in there. What surgery? They have to go and cut it. And to remove the stuff and put it back to the normal sort of formation. Then you have other conditions like what we call diverticulosis. Now, because the things pack themselves so much in the large intestine, they start developing pockets within the intestine. And now the waste starts depositing itself in those pockets. That is called diverticulosis. I found somebody, a client, they are told him that he had got diverticulosis, and therefore he was not advised to take anything sweet. Because you know those sweet things, the bacteria will have food to eat with them, which they reach the large colon.
Oh my God.
But all this is because now we see that thing is becoming enlarged there. As it gets enlarged, the man showed you that this thing is like a balloon. Now it at the end of the day, it becomes large permanently. You have to go for surgery.
You cannot rectify it.
Yeah, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go to now you end up going into surgery. So then things like colitis, then diverticulosis, then constipation causes premature aging. You find somebody is wasted. He's a young man, but he's wasting away. He's getting constipated.
That's
done.
It's really sad.
Another
really
problem.
Sad. Yes.
Bladder disorder. You see, when those things are in the stomach, they don't rest. They are always wriggling. I tell you, people come when they are saying things are paining me here. But when they are just getting constipated. Now, eventually, because these things are moving within the stomach, they start hitting the bladder. And when they hit the bladder will give a sensation that one has to go to urination. Then when he goes to the toilet, after that little comes out, then he comes back and sits. When he sits back, the things knock on the bladder, then he's going back. Then you find him making several trips to the toilet. Then eventually he's running to specialists. Oh, I think I have a prostate. When the man is getting constipated, he's
this is something that is really, really
this
serious.
Is all that. Then,
really
of course, things like appendicitis. Yeah,
yes.
that is constipation. Most of these diseases, I'm saying, 90% people get them. If you look at their history, constipation is in the back.
Yes, doctor, time is not our best ally. But now, let's look at, of course, I mean, this is something that can be avoided.
Very well so. Very well so. First of all,
we have to know the food that we eat, but also it should be compatible with your
body system. Yeah, we even know who are the major victims of constipation. For example, here in Africa and Uganda, people of blood group A and AB are one of the major victims of constipation here in this country.
Because in these few
because most of the foods which they eat, which are here, they are not compatible with their body system. They have very, very low acids. In fact, a blood group A and AB, those should be the first to run to Timex Nutrition Center to know what to eat. Otherwise, they end up having things like stomach cancer, coronal cancer, and so on and so on. So the digestion becomes a problem. And by the times when they go to a pattern, they eat anyhow, they are likely to have food poisoning. So they have a little problem. One of their major factors is a very sensitive digestive system. Lying on constipation on the other side, then running stomach on the other side. Of course, blood group O, their major problem is mainly gas in the stomach, ulcers, as we shall look at ulcers next time, and we shall find out. Now look at that. If you look at that diagram, that diagram shows you the stomach acid levels.
Okay.
O have a lot of acids, so they can digest many things. B have moderate. A, B, and A, they have very little acids. That's why they have a problem in digestion. Acid is used in digestion, and also killing microorganisms which have come on the foods. And one of the problems why the stomachs of blood group A and AB have a problem, they have little acids naturally. There is no miracle that can put that acid in more. Nothing. That is what is there, that is what is there. You just have to adopt your stomach to the right foods, and then you'll be very fine and perfect. So those are some of the people who are prone to some of these. Now, how do we prevent and treat constipation?
Exactly.
Of course, prevention is the major prevention. In fact, all people who have come to Timex Nutrition Center, for them constipation is not a problem anymore. As long as you are eating foods which are compatible to your blood group and genotype, constipation is not a problem.
What I see here, actually, you must know your blood.
Exactly, you must know your blood group. Of course, you must know what to eat. And of course, treatment, of course, the only treatment for when people come to Timex Nutrition Center, after giving you the right foods, okay, then we give you some of our supplements. You take them once in a lifetime. They don't take you once. They don't take you 30 days. What do they do? They reconstruct your stomach to bring back the flora so that digestion is done normally. We don't give things that are going to give you running. So no, they reconstruct the stomach, and then digestion is done normally.
How about what would you say? Because some doctors have given people, stuff like you have to drink its herbal so that it can help you to push out that stuff.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, that's what I started from the beginning. You can
Which is better, that or the supplement?
Of course, the supplement reconstructs the stomach to normality. Those things you are taking are washing away what is there. And in the process of washing, they are washing away the flora. You are going to get more constipated. So time comes when that you have to wash every time. You have to wash every time. You see? Others are taking laxatives. You find people are taking laxatives on the table. They are part of the diet. People are taking aloe vera as part of the diet. People are always busy colonal cleansing themselves and doing enema. And every time you do all those sorts of interventions, the flora go. And when the flora go, the next meal finds no flora.
That's also self-medication in a way, because you feel like maybe you have constipation.
Because even, of course, that's true. But even when you go to some of the people who are treating, when you tell them you are constipated, for them they look at the acute problem you can easily get, so they give you relief. That's the best they can do.
Checking your blood group.
Of course, that's not their area, so the best they can do is to give you relief.
Yes, doctor, in 3
They
minutes.
give you relief thinking that you will go and think again and work out and you avoid the problem.
3 minutes. Let's wrap this one up. What would you tell the viewer right now who's watching? You know how to what should they do? One, probably, that is according to me, they must know their blood.
You must eat foods according to your blood group and genotype. That's the first thing.
Very serious.
Then do some food layering. When you come to we'll show you food layering. Then take enough foods. Take some foods with fibers, but of course which are compatible with your body system. Because even if you are taking fiber foods which are not compatible with your body system, they are going to make you more constipated. For example, if people think that by taking Mvu and Bogoya, they open them. If you give those to blood group A warrior, he will get more constipated. If you give it to blood group O hunter, he will have a very normal bowel movement. You see, that is the iron about it. Yeah. So another thing also to follow the proper toilet habits. When you feel like going to the toilet, please go. If you don't go, don't postpone. You are causing a problem. Then if you are taking some of these medications which are causing constipation, look at their side effects and maybe you have to discuss your physician. But you can also still come to Timex Nutrition Center and find out why you are taking those medications, and maybe we'll give you an intervention, and maybe you otherwise you cannot afford to have a constipated stomach.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tamale. Myself as a person, as an adult, I've actually learned a lot this evening about constipation, what it can actually do to a human being. You can end up dying because of constipation because you don't know what it is and what measures to take to avoid that. So we've learned a lot, and Dr. Tamale can be got at the Timex Nutrition Center. It is on Nasa Road, Conrad Plaza. The numbers have been on your screen, but I can read them again for you. 0778 288 361. And that is MTN, but also on Airtel, that is 0758 819952. Those are the numbers. You can contact them if you have anything that probably we have talked about today and you feel you have undergone that. Please, tomorrow run. Don't postpone it, because it may turn out to be very, very wrong. Doctor, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Do I meet you again after a month? Or?
After a month, of course, I will be here again on the third Monday of the month.
And we shall be continuing with this series of health lessons here, and we'll be tackling another topic when Dr. Tamale is next here in the studios. It's been talk time, and it's been a pleasure having you on board with us. I'll meet you again next week, Monday, same time, same station here. And we'll coming up next year on UBC TV, of course, is the news at 10, and that will be with Rhoda Ngonzi. But from me and on behalf of the entire team this evening, Talk Time team this evening, wish you all the best and see you next week.
tomanyi katonda kahuwe byonna